book up wide and meet adventures that wait for you. Live and learn and laugh and play whenever your dream comes true. You could swim along the river all the way to the sea. You could fly up in the sky above the clouds and trees. You could plant a flower garden up on top of the moon. You could swing through the jungle all afternoon. Wherever our story takes us, I can't wait to see. Yes, friends, come and read with me. It's online story time.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Online Storytime at your Grand Rapids Area Library. I'm Miss Tracy.
I'm Grandma Pat.
And we are so excited to have you with us today.
Yes.
Hey Grandma Pat, before we start talking about that really interesting thing we're going to talk about today, should we sing?
Yes, we should sing.
Storytime friends, would you sing along with us? And remember, the song says clap your hands, but you clap whenever you want to clap. Here we go. If you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, clap your hands. Or your elbows. Clap whatever you want. Hey, Grandma Pat.
Yes.
What would you like to talk about today?
Well, I think today we should be talking about some place that we live, some place that we love, some place that we have all our toys, some place that we have our beds, some place that we have our friends, some place we have our family, and that is a house.
A house. And there are all sorts of different types of houses in this world.
Absolutely.
Some people might live in a log cabin. Some people might live in an apartment building. Some people might live in a hotel. Some people might live in a hotel just for a short period of time. Some people might live with other people for just a little bit of a time. Some people might live on a farm. Some people might live in a lighthouse. And we will hear from one of our books that some people might even live in a house that you can tow behind a truck.
On wheels.
Yeah, very, very cool. It's very interesting to think about where people live and where they sleep. Hey, Grandma Pat, do you want to do a hand play about houses?
You have to show me.
Okay, all right, story time, friends. Here we go. We're going to do a hand play called houses. And we are going to make our hands into 4 different types of houses. Okay, here we go. Here is a nest for a robin. Here is a hive for a bee. Here is a hole for a bunny. And here is a house for me. See how you make your own house? Would you like to do it one more time? Okay. Here is a nest for a robin. Here is a hive for a bee. Bzz. Can you hear them in your hive? Bzz. Here is a hole for a bunny. And here is a house for me. Ah, those are all lovely houses that you have made. So Grandma Pat, do you have any good books about houses?
Well, we already talked about the house with the wheels. That's Stella's house, and I have another one too. So that's really good houses on books on houses.
I can't wait.
Miss Tracy, our first house book is called Little Houses, and it's by Kevin Henkes, and it's illustrated by Laura Dronzik. She drew the pictures, fabulous pictures in here, and it's brought to us by Green Willow Books. When I visit my grandparents at the beach, we stay in a little house. It is so close to the water you can hear the waves. Sometimes I think someone is calling me, but it's just the waves coming in, going out, a whisper or a roar, I run up and down to meet them. Look like fun. Every morning we look for shells. We almost always find something good. We only keep the ones that are empty. Grandma reminds me that the shells are little houses, and that gets me thinking. Thinking of thin, pale walls of pink or gray or white, shiny or dull. A rounded orange room or one with brown spots like freckles. It's pretty. But who lived here? Where is it now? Is its ghost still inside the curved walls? Is that the sound in the shell? Is that the tiny ghost I hear? We look for empty little houses all morning. Over the sound of waves, I hear Grandma say, "Things we cannot see." I don't know what she's talking about, but I nod anyway and wonder about all the things that might be under the water. Wow. Fish as big as cars. Creatures whose names I don't know. Lost toys. Lots of lost things that were cried over. Look at all these things down here. There's a bucket. There's some jewelry. Some toys. There's a coin. Things that might turn up one day rolling onto the shore. Maybe just a piece of something to show everyone. Beautiful, beautiful, just beautiful, Grandpa always says. He also says, the world is so big and there is so much to know. Someday, you'll know it all. And we both smile. I would like to know it all. I'd like to know how far each shell has traveled, how old the rocks and stones are. I'd like to know how deep the water is at its very deepest part, and how it can be blue and gray and green and silver and white and black all at the same time. I'd like to know what a pelican thinks of a sandpiper, and if a snowy egret has ever seen snow. So right now, I'll walk up and down the beach looking for little houses and thinking about everything I don't know. One thing I do know is that I will take some little houses back to my house, where they'll sit on a shelf in my bedroom, and I'll put my favorite in a special place. A house in a house in the world. And there's our Little Houses book.
Hey, Storytime friends, Grandma Pat.
Yeah.
Would you like to do a flannel board?
Okay.
We are going to read a poem today, and the poem is called Shape House. And we are going to build a house. Can you believe that? We are going to build our own house out of shapes. Are you ready? Okay. Some houses are wood, and some are stone. But let's build one from shapes alone. Start with a square. See the square? It has 4 equal sides. Add a triangle on the top. There we go. Just a square and a triangle made the shape of a house. That's crazy, isn't it? Then a rectangle for the door. See that rectangle? Now square windows. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're missing one thing. A little circle just for fun. And now our shape house is all done. See what the little circle is? It's the doorknob. You have to have a doorknob to get into your house. So my friends, I'm going to challenge you this week to make your own shape house. Either you can cut out shapes or you can ask your grown-up to cut out shapes, but you can make so many different types of houses with just a square, triangle, rectangle, and circles. Hey, thanks for playing.
Our next book about houses is called Stella's Starliner. It's by one of my favorite authors, Rosemary Wells. She also drew all the pictures. And it comes to us from Candlewick Press. Stella, and this is Stella right there. Stella lived in a house by the side of the road. The house was completely silver. It was as silver as the comet in a sky. It was called the Starliner. Inside was a room for sleeping and a room for being awake. There was a kitchen and a radio and a sofa that turned into a bed at the touch of a button. See that radio? That's a radio. Stella had everything she needed in her silver home. Saturday night, Stella's daddy came home in his truck. He parked it outside the Starliner. Sunday morning, Stella's mama made pancakes for 3 in the tiny kitchen. Stella's daddy took Stella fishing on Sunday afternoon. When the sun went down, Stella's daddy kissed Stella and her mama. He gave them all the money in his pocket. Then he started up his truck and went to work for another week. Stella and her mama waved him all the way down the road to the end of the mountain road. On Monday morning, Stella and her mama went to market. "We'll make a peach cobbler," said Stella's mama. "And corn chowder," said Stella. They have their peaches and their corn. Later, all the boys and girls cheered when the bookmobile came. Stella and her mama read their books until they knew them by heart. Stella didn't have a worry in the world. Then, one day, a band of weasels passed by after school. "Is this where you live?" the weasels asked Stella. "Yes," said Stella. "It's my silver home." "Silver?" giggled one weasel. "Tin can is more like it." "It's an old trailer, that's what it is," said another. "You must be poor," chimed a third. The weasels made jokes and snapped their gum all the way down the mountain road. Their words stung Stella's heart like the stings of bees. At supper time, Stella could not eat. She wanted to tell her mama about the weasels, but didn't want her mama to feel the stings too. Evening fell on the Starliner. Stella could not sleep. Outside, the pine trees whispered in the wind. Stella thought she heard the weasels turning cartwheels in the night. Poor Stella. Late in the night, Mama came into Stella's bedside. "Something is wrong with my Stella," she said. So Stella told her Mama about the stinging words. Stella's Mama gave Stella a kiss and said, "Look out the window." Hundreds of tiny lights spun by. "Where are we?" Stella asked. "Sailing through the Milky Way," said her Mama. "Daddy has hitched our Starliner to his truck. He's flying us far away through the night." In the morning, the Starliner landed next to a big house. Two bunnies came out to say hello. One said, "I'm Grace, and this is Stumpy." "Is that your house?" asked Stumpy. Stella didn't want to answer. "Your house is made of silver," Stumpy went on. "Sterling silver," added Grace. "You can tell." "Our house is just plain old wood," said Stumpy. "We want to see the inside," said Grace. Stella, Grace, and Stumpy played hide and seek in the Starliner's secret places. See where they're hiding? There's one, there's another one, and there's Stella. They turned the sofa into a bed and the bed back into a sofa with just the touch of a button. "You must be a millionaire to live in a silver house," said Grace. "A zillionaire," said Stumpy. "A squillionaire," agreed Stella. And there's Stella's Starliner.
Hey, Storytime friends. Grandma Pat.
Yes.
Are you ready to wave a
I
scarf?
love scarves.
All right, so out of your Storytime kit, I'd like you to find your scarf. I'm gonna give Grandma Pat the green one.
My green one.
If you don't have a scarf, you could always wave a sock, or you could wave a paper towel, or you could wave a Kleenex, or you could wave a washcloth. Point is, you could wave whatever you got. And if you're not wearing socks today, you can just wave your hand. All right, so the very first scarf song we're gonna do today is our warm. Did you hear something? I thought I did too, hang on. Hello? Oh, absolutely. Storytime friends. Tiger would like to be our Storytime friend today. Hello, Grandma Pat.
Hi, Tiger.
Hello, Storytime friends. I am delighted to be with you. And we are delighted to see you too, Tiger. All right, how about if you sit right there and you can sing along, all right? Okay, Storytime friends, let's start with our warm-up. Are you ready? Here we go. My scarf goes up, my scarf goes down, my scarf goes around, 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 around. My scarf goes in, my scarf comes out, my scarf flies about, 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 about. Woo! Are you ready to try it faster? All right, here we go. My scarf goes up, my scarf goes down, my scarf goes around, 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 around. My scarf goes in, my scarf comes out, my scarf flies about, 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 about. Woo! Did you woo? The woo is a very important part of the scarf song. Woo! It's my favorite part. All right, we are talking about houses today. And we've talked a lot about human houses and a little bit about animal houses. But I want you to think about another type of house. I want you to think about a spider's house. Because a spider works so very hard to spin its web. And then its web is not only its house, but it's a place that it can catch its food. A spider web is a beautiful thing to see, especially if you're walking in the woods in the morning, or you go out, even outside your house in the morning. Sometimes you can see a spider web because it's got dew on it and it looks all watery and shimmery. It's beautiful. So let's do a scarf song about a spider. The first one, our first phrase, or our first refrain we're going to do is called "The Spider Spins a Web." Here we go. The spider spins a web, the spider spins a web, round, round, and up and down, the spider spins a web. Now, how does she do that? Well, one thing she does is she spins it in and out. She spins it in and out. Round, round, and up and down, the spider spins a web. How else does she do it? It's right. How about back and forth? She spins it back and forth. She spins it back and forth. Round, round, and up and down, the spider spins a web. And finally, she's doing that, and she's going low to high. Here we go. She spins it low to high. She spins it low to high. Round, round, and up and down, the spider spins a web. Can we sing the refrain one more time? Refrain is our very first one we sang. Here we go. The spider spins a web. The spider spins a web. Round, round, and up and down, the spider spins a web. Oh, and think of what beautiful spider webs we just made. Hey, thanks for playing. Storytime friends, Grandma Pat, what a fun time I had today.
I had a good time too.
I hope you all had a really fun day too. We read about the little houses on the beach. Remember all the shells? And inside the shells, all the creatures were living. And then Stella Starliner, she has a beautiful house, a silver house that is on wheels. That's a remarkable kind of house to have.
And those weasel boys were so mean to her, but she was okay.
She was just fine because she knew she had a great house and she found some really good friends.
And she told her mama about it too.
That's right.
That helped.
That very much helped. And we all built a shape house, and I hope that you cut out some shapes and build your own shape houses because they are so much fun to build. But now, my friends, I think it's time to say goodbye.
Okay.
Would you sing with us? All right, here we go. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Yes, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Story time is done today. Now it's time to go and play. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Goodbye, everybody.
I'm going to grab a book and go in my house.